Hello and welcome to episode 47 of our Timberborn Update 7 Folktails Hard Mode playthrough here in cycle 55, day 28, 4.5 days left in a drought. And today, we've got a lot of small things to fix, and also, before we get over to that area, yes, the trees will be one of those things, I guess more than one of those things, because we need more maple trees, we don't need more chestnuts, but we do need more maple trees, we do need more pine trees, because we don't have enough maple syrup, and we don't have enough pine resin, and we're going to need both of those things to increase expeditiously. So, one of the things that I think we could do to help solve that problem is to make a couple more tree farms in this general area and take care of some irrigation stuff. Starting with, based on your comments, this dam needs to be removed so we can explode this so that this can be turned into a sluice again, and then we can build a dam right on top of that. And then that should take care of most of that stuff. But questions have been raised about the strategy that we should employ to irrigate the rest of this stuff and keep water in here, because, you know, you have these sources here, you have these sources here, that previously, until we were diverting things, we're keeping this very full and coming off the edge here and making sure everything had plenty of water in it. But sometimes, when you have these longer droughts, we do run out of water, which is something we kind of tried to fix by just making the outlet on this second level. But we do still need to have more coming in here, so that's going to be taken care of in due time. Let's get that on triple speed again. And there are some other things I wanted to fix as well. I regret to inform you that presently the flywheels mod, as I was unable to get that to work today. The game has been updated a little bit, including some revisions to some of these models. This seems like it's kind of a return to form on the smelter to one of the older things. So a couple things have been changed, a couple things have been improved. Apparently the performance is a lot better, which is really good. But it is unfortunate that when updates happen, sometimes some of the mods do break a little bit, so we'll be eagerly awaiting that to get updated again. But outside of that, we did get a lot of good stuff done with reorganizing this area, getting this wall completely enclosed over here. And I was happy to see that you guys liked this kind of stair-step thing we had going on. And we do have a couple of other things to take care of over here in that regard as well. So since we were already on the subject of getting this stuff kind of fixed here, we are unfortunately not going to be able to get this piece here brought out without having another little bit of terrain put in there. So what's going to have to happen is this is all going to be extended, and then that's going to go out to the corner, and we're going to put our fences in like we did up here, just so everything matches, you know, makes it look nice. So shrubs in the corner, you already know. Super easy thing for us to do, except this is, I guess, not going to be necessary there. Put the bench in place, have them, you know, just kind of sit facing whichever way they choose, which is, I guess, staring at the little station gate there. But yeah, should be a pretty simple thing for us to take care of. And then, of course, we do have the ability to get this popped just like so. And then, depending on how we want to go about doing this, I think I can still get this situated if I have the right kind of a setup like this. Should be more or less how we had this going on. I think, yeah, see, there we go. It's not going to want to play nice unless I have something connecting up underneath, which I think I might be able to squeeze in here. You know, we're not going to be looking at that, so that should be fine. Just want to make sure that this is slightly more viable. We'll have to wait for that to get popped in, but should be alright. Shouldn't take too terribly long there. So that one, of course, will go there, and so on and so forth. I digress. I really do like the idea of this being a little bit nicer looking, so that is A-okay by me to get that popped in there. I don't think they're going to be able to, of course, because it's underneath. Yeah, I'm going to have to... Yeah, remember when I took all these ladders out? Yeah, me too. That was a very successful thing that now is no longer a very successful thing. The joys of late game fixing problems. There's really not that much left for us to do, or that would make sense for us to do. So we just kind of have to do what we can with what we got. Where have you heard that one before? Yeah, we're getting real close, folks. Just got to take care of a couple more things, and then we should be able to send this one off in a very fun way. Again, they're going to take a long time to get this built. I will, I think, wait to fire it off until, like, the very end. But, like I said, we do have other things to take care of. This is going to be a tremendous spot for us to put in some tree farming here. In fact, because of the way this is set up, and because of what you guys have told me, apparently these tunnels that I've been talking about doing actually do irrigate. So we should see, get this on triple speed again, we should see this start to turn green, unless I have been misunderstanding your comments, which is always possible. But I'm very interested to see what ends up happening here. I am a little skeptical that this will actually work because it's buried, but you know how this goes. You know how this goes. I do have, I think, yeah, they should be able to get in here just fine. If it doesn't turn green, then I guess we're just going to blast holes down here and see if it's going to irrigate down from below, because I guess, yeah, it's not looking promising, folks. Gonna be real with you. I'm kind of disappointed that's not working. But at any rate, we do have to come back in here with our sluice like we had done before, and just put that in place. This, of course, probably doesn't need to close at the downstream depth of 0.50 because, you know, this is a whole thing here. So if we have that set to close at 0.7, then it should basically let this go out forever. But it's not going to let everything out, which is why this exists. So the water level will keep going up, and then these sluices are at the same level as this dam. So it shouldn't cause a whole lot of overflowing issues. If this gets too deep, it will shut, and then it'll keep coming through here. But I don't think it's going to be a problem. Should be all right. Yeah, I don't see any irrigation happening here, so that is quite the disappointment. I don't know what's going on with that. I really thought that was going to work. So, I don't know. If you have any idea what's going on with that, please do let me know. I just have to make sure these are all marked. They are. Anyway, what I was going to say in the same kind of vein is that this area here would be a great place for us to kind of cover this up and have some irrigation from underneath. Because I do want this to still be able to be used. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and try to get this situated like so we can plant some additional trees here. Go ahead and get this blown up just a little bit. Because this is going to give these guys a little bit of a purpose, right? It's always a good thing. So if we relocate, or not relocate, just put a forester in generally in a place that's going to make sense. This is going to be replaced with a tapper shack, of course. Line that up with a path here. Should be totally fine. And then what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to plant a bunch of maple trees. We can put pines somewhere else. But maples are going to be what we have to be working with here. So all of this is going to have to be turned into some maple trees. We've got a little bit more space here. Should be, I mean, once everything is in place, it shouldn't be an issue at all to keep this nice and irrigated, because we're going to have water basically up to this level. Shouldn't be a problem. But the sooner they get started on this, the better, because like everything, it is going to just take time. As much as we all love hearing that phrase 10,000 times in one episode. Let's get the rest of these terrain blocks in place. We have plenty of dirt, kind of, maybe. We have enough. We have enough to do what we have to do. And that should be okay. So this is not quite the same volume of maple trees as we have on the waffle, but it is hopefully going to be enough to make that a little bit more viable. Just have this one block left to pop in. It's a little bit more, and then they can start... Well, actually, no, this bot can start doing it right now. It's planting all these maple trees. This is not marked for cutting, nor should it be. All this land is irrigated, and that should be a-okay. I do have a little bit of a correction to make. It wasn't this series, but I'm going to bring it up. Apparently, irrigable is not the correct term for me to be using. Arable would be the correct term for me to be using, because irrigable, or not irrigable, apparently is, you can't irrigate it at all. Like, it's not possible, versus arable meaning you can grow something on it, which would change if you irrigate it. But non-irrigable means it's, like, completely inhospitable terrain that cannot grow anything. So, I don't know. I'm not a farmer. I just play with beavers on the internet, so we're going to let them take care of that. What? Okay, alright. Okay, fine. I guess there's some irrigation here. So, I think what we're going to need to do for science is... No, not dynamite. I'm going to see here, if I expand this into a 3x3 area, how much more irrigation this is going to do. I know it's not going to be like the most perfect thing ever, but I think we can basically blast this whole thing out, maybe go down a little bit as well, and come in right behind this whole mess here and get this thing completely irrigated. And again, it doesn't have to be anything super crazy. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that, folks. I think this is going to be a winning formula here. Apologies for talking trash about 5 minutes ago. But this is going to take them some time to get done, but it's going to keep this more irrigated, and that is always a good thing. So, maple trees, of course, are going to take a very long time. It's going to be a full 40 days before we get any syrup here. We're also going to have a storage for said syrup. And I think, you know, based on distance and stuff, we're also going to want to have this closer to a station. So I'm not going to put a big tank. Medium tank should be okay, and I think this spot right here is probably okay for that to be a supply. And then, of course, next to... which one of these is going to be the closest, huh? Right there? Probably. Can I fit one underneath? I sure can. Can I fit a big one? I sure can. Alright, well then that one gets to be a bigger tank for that. Alright, so that's probably fine to leave alone. I need to find somewhere else to put in some pine trees. That should not be an issue. Look at this. Look how irrigated that is. Very good. Very good. I guess I need to, you know, shut up and just let the process happen. I need to trust the process like I tell you guys all the time. Just make this be what it's going to be. How did that get blasted out first? Oh, that's a problem. I don't think we can allow that to be a thing. This is going to flood the absolute mess out of this. So that is no longer going to be blown up, because I have to have a cap on this, or else this is going to flood everything in a terrible, terrible, terrible way. All right, let's escalate this expeditiously. All right, there we go. The bots are going to save the day. One more, and no more flooding, please, and thank you. This one they can't reach yet, so that's going to be a fun problem to solve. But actually, no, it's probably actually not going to be that bad. I can just pop a terrain block there, and then they can stand on that to build that. Alright, now, it is cycle 56. The water will be rising, and it will be going through here, and then it will be going through there. This should solve a lot of problems. Get this nice and irrigated over here. And one of the things that was commented last episode was, why do we still have this thing here? Well, see, we have to have power. And the way that this is currently set up, we don't really have a... oh, that tune sickens me. We don't really have a good way to get power across here without this. So, I hate to say it. I don't really hate it that much, but this probably has to stay. I know it's ugly, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. I'm interested to see just how long it takes this to fill up, though, because you know that's doing that. This is not coming through here because why? Because somebody set this to 0.05. Yeah, so I guess I do have to raise this just a touch to try and let some more water come out through here. Probably the smarter thing to do. This will just cycle a little bit, which, you know, is fine. And then once it gets to that height, then it will shut off, because this is like the overflow here. We'll have to play with it a little bit, but they're working on that. We can leave that alone. Still need to get some more water in here. Planting some maple trees. I need to put pine trees in. That is something that we've discussed, and I have not done anything with. So, we are probably not really in tremendous need for a lot of logs anymore. We have all of these that are still here. But instead of doing that, I had the thought, what if we take this kind of irregularly shaped area here, blast this down a little bit more. By a little bit more, I mean a lot of bit more. And we make this a pine tree growing area. We don't have to have a ton. But we do still need to get more. And, of course, we have these coming online literally as we speak. So that's good. Things will improve. Don't make me say it again. Because you know how this works. But I figured this would be a pretty simple, pretty easy way to help solve some of that problem. And we can, of course, you know, increase the size of this area. Just real simple. Regain a little bit of space here. Nothing crazy, but that will help a lot. And this is very accessible, very easy to get to. I guess that's what accessible means anyway, so just get the rest of this in place here. Get that out of there. They can only build a little bit of this, and then they can build the rest once all the terrain gets blown up, but I figured this would be a good way to go about doing that. Alright. As soon as they decide they're done playing with all that stuff, get these last couple pieces in. Are they actually going to be able to get all of this in? I guess they are. Alright, well, I stand thoroughly corrected. Alright, you know what time it is. B for boom. Or lag. That works too. So now what I've got to do is I've got to come in here, take this out, blast that down. This goes, well, technically this is going to be filled in from above. We already kind of talked about that a little bit, but I do want to get these trees planted first. So we're going to let them do that. I'm going to put in the middle here, I guess right around here, if I can get this to play nice. Once this is accessible, it should be fine. B for boom. Yeah, they can reach everything there. Well, okay, basically everything. I'm not gonna be that worried about it, but I am going to move this just a touch. Let's okay, because that's got a sluice there. Let's think critically here. This probably needs to be a path with the door turned that way, I guess. Let's see. It's so peaceful not having the sound effects like this. Alright, that's going to cut off some of this side. Can't really get everything in here. I guess this is about as good as we're going to get, and I'm just going to have to live with that. So, this is fine. Not birches. Not birches. Get those pines in there. Even if they can't build all of this, we'll still, you know, actually be able to do it. They can't reach this, so let's give them a little bit of a helping hand with the path there. We'll take the path out. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. Let's let them do what they gotta do. Oh, you know what? This is actually part of the wall. Let's not plant there. And this is also part of the wall, so I probably should have moved this. Well, it's fine. We don't need to be that worried about it. I think we're going to be just fine. Yeah, if anything, I need to get this all cleaned up. Another question that's been raised is, do you think this bad water outflow is enough? Well, I'd venture to say yes, judging by the fact this is not backed up. And we peel this back. It is not approaching the top of the little channel here. I think it's probably just fine. Lots of opportunities for the bad water to go off the edge of the map. This is fully blocked off. That was also something people asked, was this actually separated, which it is. Then going all the way back over to here, everything is looking just peachy. But it is a temperate cycle, not a bad tide. So when the bad tide comes in, we may see something different, but I'm not super worried about it. Alright, we do have water coming in here. It soon will be going over that dam. Still not going through here, still coming out of here, which is the goal. We do still have water filling this up, which is also the goal. Everything is the goal. Things are looking just fine. Very nice. Very, very good indeed. Also, people forget this one also emits clean water. So, I don't think we're going to have any issues. But I digress. Planting the pine trees. All of this land is good to go. See, this right here might not look like a ton, but then you come back over here. This is like half again as many pine trees as we have in this. Could even be closer to 2/3 or 75%. Judging volume is not really that easy in this kind of a scenario here, but we do what we can with what we got. But now, knowing that we aren't going to have to get back in here, and we're not going to have flywheels until or unless the mod gets fixed. Unfortunately, we are going to have to take care of this in other ways. So, let's get this filled in here. Very simple, very easy. Oh, thank you, lag. Then that's going to allow us to do this. I'm going to have to cut this path off in another fashion here, but that is the way it goes. I guess I'm just leaving this kind of notch in the wall here, and we're just going to accept that this is a thing. I mean, that's fine. It doesn't have to be super perfect, but while we're here, I guess I can go ahead and put the rest of these crenellations in place, assuming that they line up nicely, which... Yeah. Alright, whatever. It's episode 47. Wait. Alright. Alright, that works. That works. I can live with that. I can definitely live with that. Just pop the rest of these pieces in here. Keep that spaced out. How nice is that going to be, folks? How nice is that going to be? I know how much you love me putting these individual roofing pieces in here like this. That's just the top quality content right there. So, I'm going to go ahead and finish putting these in, and then what we're going to do from that point on is we are going to have to... I guess I could just time-lapse while I'm doing this, but yes, we're going to time-lapse. We're going to get all of these things put in, all of these trees planted, except for when I forget to put in accessibility over there and then have to put a platform in. But yeah, we have to let these trees grow, because a lot of the stuff that remains to be done, like optimizing some of these other supply chains and getting stuff built that we haven't finished yet, is going to kind of rely on having more maple syrup, more pine resin, all that. And that does take time. So, thanks to the wonderful power of the TImprove mod, we have 30 times speed accessible without going into the dev console. And that is what we're going to run it. And I'm going to time-lapse the 30 times speed. So we're going to be in the absolute turbo mode here, folks. But yes, we'll come out of the end of this, and we will check and see just how things are looking. Hopefully nothing breaks because of the super fast speed, as we get our drought warning here that you've already seen. You've already seen the water start drying up anyway. But yeah, we will talk about what is next when we come out of the time-lapse. Alright, so coming out of the time-lapse here, start of cycle 57, we have pine trees, and they are pining. In fact, we've harvested already basically an entire batch and a half of pine resin, and that number is slowly climbing. We only have storage for 400 of it, but we still haven't filled it up, so I'm not really that worried about it. These guys here are saying they don't have any power, and that would be because we've ran out entirely during the drought. It's very, very strange that that would happen, because I know this is all interconnected. I'm not entirely sure if the windmills just decided that they weren't going to be turning at all. But anyway, it's going to be all right. We're going to be fine. These trees here, well, some of them have grown up, but it is going to be another 6 days before we get any syrup out of them. But we've prepared pretty nicely. The irrigation in the tunnel thing has worked wonderfully for most of these trees. And we definitely have opportunities to improve our situation with a bunch of this stuff. So let's go ahead. Since we are already here, I'm going to go ahead and demolish these blockages. And I'm going to blast this whole area out, because this is going to hold more water, and we're not going to be, you know, building anything on this anyhow. So we'll just get this whole thing all the way out. We know we have dynamite, so not going to be a problem. It's just going to give us that much more water in here that doesn't have to go away. Remember, this is the bottom of the map. We can't go any lower than that. Just going to grab this best we can and get that taken care of. Don't worry. We will be for boom all of this. Don't worry. I'm not going to leave you hanging like that. But they're going to have to, you know, take some time to get that taken care of. But things are looking really good. I am very pleased with how this is filling in as these trees grow up. A little recreational area. And while there's still some, you know, little detail things that we probably could get to, I think it's probably something we should wait until we have all of our supply stuff figured out. In fact, we probably should be pumping some more water. But this got, I guess, pretty low. Maybe it's also the 40 times speed or 30 times speed, whatever times speed it was, messing with some of our industrial stuff. That's also possible. But we have an opportunity to increase our water storage, and we probably should, just, you know, because we can, for no other reason. Just don't really know where else would make a whole lot of sense. Like, this right here isn't a tremendously great place to pop more of these in, but you know what? You might as well. Might as well. This guy making bread probably doesn't need to be there. So if we were to remove this, remember this was all housing at some point, and then we decided we're going to do something else over here. But now I've got extra space. We take these paths out of the way here, and depending on how we want to organize this, this would either be a good place to put one in, or I could put two, and then I could even blast this out and put a third. But the frog statue is in kind of a good spot. This is holding ingredients that we were using for stuff, but I don't think we need to have a tremendously large quantity of bread elsewhere. So I'll tell you what we'll do, is we will get all of these smaller storages emptied. I'm not just going to dump all the stuff on the ground, because you know that's not really a fantastic way to do business. But we can get these things taken care of, put a little bit more water storage over here, and I think that would be a good way to utilize some of this space. We are, of course, going to have to have some of this get blown down to smithereens here. But that is not going to be a problem for us. Just get that taken care of nicely. Maybe fill in behind it a little bit and see what else. Look at these guys go, man. All these, no, not the Torii gate. All the bots headed up to this zipline station, which a couple of episodes ago, somebody left a comment saying that this station might not be connected because there's no path. But it's not yelling at me. However, if I put this here, we should start seeing these guys actually use this. Yeah, okay, so that was on me, but I fixed it. And you might note we have Gary and we have me all on these beavers. So enjoy that, I guess. Oh, by the way, this is done. The earth recultivator, which takes extract and paper. We're not going to light it off yet, but we can go ahead and actually get it connected. They never finished this, did they? Well, well, well. That is a good thing I caught that. Just get that situated there. Probably have to connect this so they can actually get up there. Yeah, because I kind of lost the plot on getting this whole thing all the way across. It does, I guess, tend to happen, but why don't we take just a moment here to try to fill that back in? You know, as one does. It doesn't have to be necessarily something super crazy here, but I do think it's a nice idea to try and get the whole thing completely filled back in. Do we have to have this all the way up? No, we don't. Are we going to anyway? You better believe it. Why not, right? Just make it look kind of nice. Thank you, autosave, making me do this again. At the risk of starting discourse about the arrows, look, I'm just you guys are just gonna have to understand my brain hates me sometimes and does not want me to be able to do stuff like this. So it is what it is, and that is what it is. We just gonna have to enter into a memorandum of understanding, for lack of a better term, and just get this thing blocked all the way across. Let them build that, and then we should be good. Look at these guys go! They're putting in the work here. I know it's dark, so you can't really see anything, but this is going to be one impressive bee for boom. Let me tell you what. They can't. Oh, of course, they can't reach this because the path doesn't let them. How could I have forgotten? Yeah, let's just put paths everywhere. It doesn't matter. Now they can actually reach stuff. Before things go super crazy, I will get rid of this. Watch, I'm going to have to build it again in like 5 minutes anyway, because that's just how this tends to go. But, oh, they got all this they haven't built yet? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, we can sit here and watch that then, I'll tell you that. These guys got any stuff coming up yet? 62%? Yeah, not a chance. Alright, so, not to burden you with the time-lapse yet again, but you know, there's just only so much we can do at the end of the series, and I want to make sure I'm not just sitting here yapping for the whole time at even just 3 times speed. So we are going to speed up the rest of this, let them put the rest of the dynamite in, wait a little bit longer to get the, whatever that stuff's called, maple syrup, harvested out of the trees, and I think at that point we can safely set off all the dynamite and then do a couple more things, and then put this episode to bed, and then think about what we want to do in the finale, which I guess probably is going to be Thursday. We'll see. If you got ideas that you're dying to have, then I guess post those in the comments. But we'll go ahead and get this stuff detonated and see what's next. Alright, so I'm going to come out of this time-lapse, 1, because we have 1.9 days left until we have a bad tide. 2, because these pine trees, wow, these maple trees, they're not pines, those are over there. The maple trees are getting very close to being harvested, but because we have the bad tide coming in, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bee for boom. So, we disconnect those. Every piece has been laid. It's all looking quite nice. So let's come here in the middle and hit bee for boom. Isn't that magnificent? Don't you just love it? Oh, I definitely left that one in there. Oh well, life goes on. I do need to get this taken out, so I will go ahead and pop that in place. But otherwise, we're looking really good. We've got a decent amount of water in here. Some of it is going out that way. Our main reservoir is filling up. It is not full, but it is filling up. Of course, these guys are doing just fantastically well, because they already were by the time we were done. And we do still have to get a little bit more of this taken care of here, but to be perfectly honest with you, I think we are going to leave most of that for next time. But we can still, you know, start that process, get everything going here. I do have to get this connected up here. That's going to take, again, some time. But we've still got a lot of good stuff to be pretty happy with. I guess we're going to find out if this is adequate for a bad tide. But I think that's going to have to be in the next episode. Let's see. Yeah, we finally got some maple trees here. Getting our maple syrup. That will take a little bit of time to get pulled out. But we've made some tremendous progress. I think we can be very proud of that. Get these other things beefed or boomed. Put in some additional tanks for water storage. I'm going to leave... Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to get rid of that guy. Make these all for water storage. We can relocate the frog statue. This is empty. This is not empty. Neither is this. So I guess that is just going to be what it's going to be. I can put some more tanks here. Do we really need extra water storage? Probably not. But it's fine. I do have to, you know, replace the frogs, like I did say. So we'll give them a helpful, watchful eye over the campfire area. Add another one as penance for my removal of the first one. But yeah, we got all this extra space for irrigation here. Should keep these trees nice and happy for quite a long time. These guys have been doing well for a little bit now. And all of this construction is, of course, going to take time. They are... Oh, they're unable to reach this, really? Somebody didn't put the path on top of the ladders. Okay, well, I was wondering what was going on with that. I digress. They're going to take care of that. I guess, you know, since we haven't actually ended the episode yet, I might as well just wait and see what happens here. But we're going to do our end of episode stuff now. I do appreciate you watching all these videos. I know this series is long in the tooth and it's about to be done, but I want to make sure that we don't leave anything unfinished, or at least to the degree that it's, you know, bad that it's unfinished. You know, you can't do everything, but I feel like this playthrough has been extremely fun in a lot of ways. And there's still other stuff we can do in the next episode, or the next two, if I decide that the next episode isn't quite finished. But I am right now planning on next episode being the last one. And then, of course, if you guys want to see a whole lot more stuff done, then we will address that at that point in time. But I do, again, really appreciate you guys, Beard Boosters. You already know, you see their names on the screen this past however many seconds that's been happening. I don't know when it's going in yet. But it is truly not possible to keep doing these videos every single day without taking sponsors or any of that stuff, without their support. So I really do appreciate those people directly subsidizing me, subsidizing the channel, and making it possible for us to just have fun playing with boosters. All that being said, Bad Tide has just started. It is the full 29 days. So I guess the last thing we're going to see today is, did we make enough space here for the Bad Tide off flow to, well, escape? I don't think we're going to run into any issues because I do have these walls up relatively high here. But, you know, all of this turns into nasty water real quick. So if I put this back on triple speed, we might see these levels increase just a touch. You know, folks, it's looking pretty good. I think we have, I think we've done about all we can with that. This is, of course, pretty full, but it's not completely slam full. Should be alright. This, of course, is doing just fine, as is this. This has been fine forever. We haven't had any issues with it. Friends, I believe that is the best possible place in which we could leave this episode. We've solved a lot of problems. We've made some stuff look a little bit nicer. And, again, anything else you are absolutely dying to see before we put this playthrough to bed, please do let me know. I got a couple ideas, a couple things that I'd like to take care of. I know we have to finish the rest of these towers and stuff over here, make them look a little bit nicer. But I'm all ears, as always. It's a Let's Play, not a Watch Me Play, so if you have ideas and I can probably reasonably do them, then I will. But aside from that, whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun. We will see you in the next episode tomorrow with the Iron Teeth Project 1K Challenge, and then, of course, back in this series. Maybe for the last time on Thursday. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.